Hiya, this is Claire from Arts Care, and today's workshop I'm going to show you how to make some really interesting three-dimensional forms using folded paper, stapled together, a template design to work from. So I have a stapler there, a pair of scissors, and a glue stick is optional if you want to add some embellishments to your sculptures, like little handles or spouts and things like that. So I'm just going to show you this. This is very simple, straightforward printer paper. Some of these other ones I've used coloured paper. You don't want to use too thick a paper. You don't want to use card because it'll just make your folding too awkward afterwards. But you wanted to use enough sheets of paper in order to spread around evenly so that your little structure supports itself. This one actually over to the right here, if you can see this, that's actually made from supermarket magazines and leaflets and things like that have come through the door. So I decided to repurpose them and turn them into a sculpture. So for this one here, I have about 10 sheets of printer paper, and I folded them up. I fold up the side, and then if your paper is too wide for your stapler to get in, just sort of curve it over a wee bit without folding it too much. And then you should hopefully be able to slip in your stapler and staple up the middle, so you're creating a spine for your piece like that, okay? And then I'm going to set that down on the table. And then I'm going to line up my template, and you want to get the bottom of the vase at the bottom of the page so you get a nice even, so you can see that, so it's nice and straight along there. And then I am going to just very lightly sketch around the design. Now if you felt more confident and you could work with a craft knife, then that's fine, go ahead. But for the purposes of this workshop, I want to make it straightforward that most people could have a go with this, whether you're young or old, and no matter what your ability is, this is something that you could do easy enough with some very simple materials that you might have around. So there we go, we have our template, and then what I'm going to do then is simply cut around that. Now you might find you might need to just hold the paper with your thumbs a little bit, just try to keep it really, so I'm just pinching it there just so that the paper just doesn't run away with it. Like so. And so it is a good way of maybe repurposing some paper that you've maybe had left over from other projects, or some people make these out of old books and use the spine of an old paperback book to do this. But for that purpose you would really need a craft knife, because you would have so many pages to get through. So I'll probably just take a little bit too much off that. But for the purposes of the demonstration, you see it. So that's roughly our shape. Now, if obviously you would have more time to spend on this, you can tidy up your edges and do it much neater than this. But for this purpose, we'll just show you. And then what I do is I just start to kind of tease out the folds, work your way around. So you want to kind of try and space these out evenly. And then you can start to actually maybe stand it up a little bit and start to tease out sections. Like I say, when you're doing this at home or in your healthcare facility, you would be able to do this with a bit more time. I'm just trying to spread that around. So I just get my fingers down into that spine, just pushing it out So you would continue to work in that vein, obviously doing it a lot neater than what I've just done here, but this is just to show you how to kind of get going with it. And if you take your time, you should then be able to have your little three-dimensional forms. I'll move that one out of the way, as that's the messy demonstration, and you can see the ones that have been done with a wee bit more care and attention. So I hope you have fun trying out that idea, and like I say, you can use lots of different papers to try this out with, and you really don't need an awful lot of materials, just like I say, a stapler, pair of scissors, and a glue stick. And if you're wanting to do the handles, for example, like this, what I've done with these is that I have glued a couple of pieces of the paper together just to make the little handles and the spouts slightly stronger, so that they sort of jut out and stick out and hold their shape better. And then that's just simply with a glue stick, just press it onto the paper, and then you can fold out your cup like that. So you can make yourself a whole tea set if you like. Okay, so I hope that was of use. Thank you.